proper cup holders here, door pocket there, wireless recharging pad, a second door pocket, not a lot of legroom, USB charging ports, some storage underneath there, open that part. I'm Justin Pritchard. This is the 2022 Toyota Tundra, and in this video, overall impression of the new Toyota Tundra after an 800-kilometer highway road trip and 800 more driving around the back roads and trails of Northern Ontario. This is a nice truck on the road, and a few key strengths shine through the experience that should connect readily with shoppers who appreciate a polished, quiet, and drama-free drive. For the money, more exciting pickups with more exciting interiors are available, I think, though the 2022 Toyota Tundra attribute that grabbed my attention first, and held it the longest, was the way it feels on the highway, back roads, and trails. It starts with a new structure underneath, itself representing a clean sheet approach using the latest design and materials for a scalable pickup platform that can be deployed in various lengths to accommodate shorter or longer models with wheelbases between 112 and 165 inches. The new structure is stronger and more rigid than the previous generation machine. With a stiffer structure, the engineers have a finer degree of control when tuning the suspension attached to it, and the Tundra's new suspension intends to give the driver, more or less, a better experience in a wider range of situations. Rear coil springs feature mounting points that are widened and positioned outside of the frame for flatter handling, more confident towing, and improved roll damping enhancement. The rear coil spring setup also works to keep the rear axle in better contact with the road more of the time, even on bumps and washboards that tend to send pickup rear ends skipping, skittering, and tap dancing around behind you. A few specific surfaces, including frost-rippled highways, can coax the Tundra's rear end into a moment of unsettled skittishness, but most of the time, the ride delivers less trauma and a better sense of control and contact with the road or trail surface, which contributes to a more laid-back drive. Up front, it's a double wishbone suspension. This setup is generally favored by smaller, higher-performing sports models, and noted for its stable and direct handling feel. So with a new suspension optimized around a new steering system and the Tundra's targeted structural reinforcements, you get a handling feel that's stable, responsive, and that resists body roll nicely even in hard cornering. From the driver's seat, expect a strong sense of everything playing nicely with everything else. I found my tester a lovely highway cruiser too. At highway cruising speed and beyond, the steering locks this truck nicely into its lane. Steering action feels heavy enough to mitigate the need for corrections and readjustments, but not so heavy that it's labor-intensive for the driver. At my fingertips, the Tundra's steering felt a touch more direct, quick, and responsive, and less sludgy than I expect in a pickup truck. On ride comfort, the Tundra glides along in most situations, the odd bump or expansion joint prompting a rigid jiggle from beneath that nicely communicates the structural strength. Smaller bumps and imperfections typically cause a tiny bit of noise and even less feedback from the ride, and generally, things are smooth and steady and quiet and relaxed. Imagine driving a smooth, heavy, and sturdy pickup with a handling and steering feel that's more big car than big truck, and you're in the right ballpark. I think drivers doing a lot of highway miles will really appreciate this setup. Note that on limited trim grades and above, hydraulic cab mounts further isolate occupants from noise and vibration. The handling's flat and tidy as pickups go, and the overall handling and steering feel are sharp and precise enough to make corner carving more enjoyable than I was expecting. Specifically, the Tundra's steering feels more precise and eager, and less labor-intensive than the norm, and most drivers should find it easy to place in corners and lock into its line with minimal need for readjustment and second-guessing. This all makes the truck feel confidently maneuverable and precise despite its size, an unexpected but delightful touch. On rough roads, light trails, and badly mogul-covered surfaces, the main sensation notable from the driver's seat is one of suspension travel that's generous and nicely controlled, for an overall feel that's comfortable but tough. The suspension controls body motions nicely, making for a less dramatic ride for the passengers on rougher surfaces, and allowing drivers to cover rough ground quickly and with a strong feeling of durability and control. Certain rough surfaces can coax the odd whack or pop from the suspension beneath, but mostly it takes a licking quietly, provided you're inside the cabin. From outside, or with the windows rolled down, suspension and body noises on rough surfaces were higher than expected. Under the hood, my tester ran Toyota's new 3.5-liter quad-cam V6 with 24 variable valves and twin-turbo, good for 389 horsepower and a mighty 479 pounds of torque. Liquid-to-air intercooling and liquid-cooled exhaust manifolds help keep the temperatures down while increasing the efficiency of the turbos. This new engine was fully redesigned and optimized using Toyota's latest and greatest, just like the platform of the truck itself. Extensive work was put into temperature management, right down to the computer-optimized shape of the exhaust valves. Compared to the 5.7-liter V8 engine in the old Tundra, the new twin-turbo V6 not only delivers much more torque that's much more accessible, but also uses about 4 liters less fuel for every 100 kilometers you drive to do it. If you're someone upgrading from a previous generation Tundra into the new model, you can use the information on your screen as a baseline in terms of what to expect for fuel savings. There is a hybrid version of this engine as well that's got even more power and drinks even less, but we'll drive that in a different video. From the driver's seat, my tester's power plant proved the smooth and quiet type. There's rarely a need to get this engine spinning much faster than 2,000 revs, and the 10-speed automatic ensures you've always got a good deep gear available if needed. With a light foot, the engine's happy to lug along under 1,500 revs, and the transmission skips multiple gears on each upshift. Now, low RPM torque is gliding the Tundra up to speed with hardly a peep from the engine room. Dig deeper into the throttle and a thick and solid surge of power swells and grows. If you love the hearty growl of a V8 engine, this turbocharged V6 won't change your mind. But with less incentive soundtrack to tempt your right foot down further into the throttle, the Tundra's engine works nicely for the light-footed driver concerned primarily with fuel efficiency. So I did find myself wishing for some mightier sound effects from my big sturdy truck, though the odd whiff of whistling turbo spool did suffice, and with gas running $2 a liter for most of my test week, I was happy with this engine's ability to respect my fuel dollars while giving me pleasingly responsive torque in the process. If that's important to you, I'd point you at the Chevrolet Silverado diesel as well. Its 3-liter Duramax turbo diesel engine is big on torque and light on the wallet here too, current diesel prices aside, of course. So Toyota has an all-new infotainment system that debuts in the new Tundra. Let me show you what that's like. So we're in the limited trim grade, and that means we've got a bigger screen here, and there's my hand for reference. So you can see that's a pretty enormous screen there. And of course, the first thing anyone says when they see that is, oh my God, that's huge. Look at the size of that thing. That is massive, and so on. Get you right up close in here for a look at the graphics. You can see very sharp. Definitely has a high-end look to it. What I like here, if we go back out to the main screen, it's bright, it's inviting. Look at the size of these buttons. Everything is easy to find. They want you to subscribe to their navigation system. I'm just using the Android Auto. I'll show you that in a moment. All of our different vehicle settings in here. Great big text. Look at how responsive this is to my touch. This is the wireless recharging pad down here, which is super clever because it keeps your phone standing up. You just lean it there. Now that's charging. We just click there. That pops up again wirelessly in just a moment. And we've got all of the key functions that we want upscaled into here from our smartphone. So I think end of the day, if what you want in your truck is a big, simple, and easy to use infotainment system, this is going to do you just fine. I did wish for a more exciting selection of colors and materials on board. The look is clean and tidy, and the giant touchscreen makes a great visual centerpiece. But elsewhere it's almost entirely trimmed in black and gray. Some shoppers will appreciate the quiet looks, others, I think like me, will be left looking for something a little more exciting. Most controls and switches are easy to locate and use, though the climate control toggle switches can be a little tricky to nail down in the dark, thanks to their small icons and relatively dim illumination. So I'll give you a quick look around at the storage in here. We'll see how easy it is to keep your smaller items organized and secured on the move. 2 proper cup holders here. We've got this deep bin. And so back here, we've got this kind of multi-function double-decker center console that opens up this way. You can see inside there, we have got some USB charging ports, little coin holders here, if you're someone that carries cash with you. Storage bin here, extra storage all around. Nice big deep center console there. If you want, you can close this down and just open that part. Gives you easy access inside, nice and organized. 2 more proper cup holders here, door pocket there, a second door pocket down here, and of course, a third door pocket down there on the bottom. where we've got cup holders and bottle holders built in. Lots and lots of storage there as well. And so if you're someone that has a lot of smaller items to keep organized on the go, I think you'll find that Tundra's interior makes it pretty easy to find a place for all your stuff and to keep all of that stuff secure. This is the double cab. You can see not a lot of legroom here. This is just a little wider than my hand. So good for the kids, maybe child seats. If we want, we can flip these seats up, little tug here, lift that up and out of the way. So we've got some storage underneath there. And with both of those rear seats folded up, you can see we've got this big storage bin here. And there are some snap-in dividers. These pieces here would snap into those little tabs if you wanted to separate this area up. Double cab, no legroom, or less legroom. On mine, which is a double cab, we don't have that extra room.
Mosquito on your hand.
I know. The first mosquito.
The first mosquito you can take.
This is the first, I'm filming it. First mosquito of 2022 right here. You can take a hike, buddy. Ultimately, this cabin is easy to work, easy to use, and easy to find your way around where it counts. And I'd tell you this is a truck with many strengths, few weaknesses, and a driving experience that's tough, comfortable, quiet, and connected. Thank you for watching. My name's Justin Pritchard. Hit that like button down below if you learned something new, and until next time, take care and drive safe.